In their time, those who live in the great house at Collinwood have been plagued by many mysteries. On this night, Julia Hoffman ponders the identity of a mysterious stranger recently arrived in Collingsport. She is certain that the man suffering from amnesia is really Quentin Collins, but her efforts to prove it have been thwarted by another mysterious figure, a woman named Olivia Corey.
Is this where I'm going to stay? Miss Corey?
What?
Is this where I'm going to stay?
Oh, no, this is my suite. I'll call down at the desk in a few minutes and they'll make arrangements for you.
Why are you staring at me?
I'm trying to convince myself that it isn't a dream.
What are you talking about?
Have you no memory at all?
Listen, I don't even know whether I'm right or left-handed.
My face isn't familiar to you.
Should it be? Have we met before tonight? Well, now, look, if we have, you're going to have to tell me where it was and when.
It was a long time ago. A very long time ago.
Is that all you're going to tell me? It was a long time ago?
Perhaps I shouldn't have told you that.
Why not?
It's possible that I'm mistaken.
About what?
You! I think that would be the cruelest thing that ever happened to me. Waiting so long and then finally thinking that I've succeeded. And then learning that you're not really you at all. I don't think I could bear that.
Now, look. You know, you're not making any sense. Now, why did you bring me to this room? What is it you want from me? Now, what's the matter? Have I said something wrong?
No, I realize that you deserve more than I'm telling you. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could make everything easier.
Now, look, it's not that I don't appreciate your help. It's just that I'm in no condition to be bothered by guessing games.
We're not playing a game.
Then what are we playing? You brought me here for a reason. What is it?
This may sound strange, but when the time comes, you won't have to ask me that question. You'll know.
I really don't think I like this. I mean, right now, my life itself is pretty much of a mystery. I don't think it would be good to confuse things even more by letting you add more mystery to it.
Where are you going?
I don't know, but I can't stay here. I'm sorry.
No, please don't leave me now! I promise I'll do everything I can to help you. I want you to regain your memory. I want that more than anything. Please believe that. Oh, please stay.
You really mean it?
Yes, I do.
But yet you won't tell me why you feel the way you do.
Well, I have a good reason, and when you know what it is, you'll understand.
Look, you don't seem to realize what an impossible task you're undertaking. I have no identity. I'm a nobody. And it's going to take a lot more than your good intentions to change that.
Well, that's not quite true. The identification that you carry with you says that you're Grant Douglas. But on the other hand, there are at least 2 people who think you're really Quentin Collins.
Quentin Collins lived over 100 years ago. It hardly seems likely
please
that
trust
he'd be...
me. You won't regret it. Please, stay and let me do what I can.
All right. Since I have nothing further to lose, I'll stay.
Julia, I'm glad you're here. I need your help.
What's wrong?
I'm worried about Paul. His behavior today has been very illogical, to say the least.
Yes, I know. Where's he now?
Upstairs in his room, lying on the bed. He keeps muttering Carolyn's name over and over.
Have you spoken to him?
Yes, but I can't get him to make any sense. He insists that he saw Carolyn at the age of 8 today. He must be having hallucinations.
He told me about the little girl that he saw, too.
Can you think of any reason that's causing his behavior?
Paul Stoddard hasn't been in this house in 20 years. He must feel guilty about neglecting Carolyn for all that time, and there's no telling how that guilt might manifest itself.
I was hoping that you'd go up and have a talk with him.
Do you think... I don't think that would accomplish anything.
Well, you're a doctor, and it's very clear that he's disturbed.
Yes, I admit he is disturbed, but...
But what, Julia?
Liz, do you remember the other night when I came in and you and Paul Stoddard were having a conversation here? Do you remember the incident?
Yes?
He was very upset. He felt that there was some great conspiracy. Something about Barnabas and the antique shop in town. And you told him that there was no point in going to the police, that they wouldn't believe his story.
Frankly, he was talking so much I don't remember what I said.
Yes, but what was he talking about? What story wouldn't the police believe?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't really remember.
But he was explaining it to you.
Julia, he's been carrying on like this ever since he came back to Collinsport. He insists that something or someone is after him. I'm sure something from his past must be haunting him.
But Barnabas has nothing to do with his past.
Nor do you, yet he insists you're part of the conspiracy.
Yes, that's true.
Believe me, Julia, everything you heard the other evening is fantasy. Good evening, Chris.
Hello, Mrs. Stoddard. Dr. Hoffman's expecting me.
Hello, Chris. Come into the drawing room.
If you and Chris have business to discuss, I'll go back upstairs.
Liz, I'd like to finish this conversation later.
Yes, of course. At your convenience.
Do you have everything?
Yes, the lab technician at the hospital thought it was a little odd, but I guess he's used to it by now.
Good, because I need it more than ever. It's more important.
Why? What's happened?
When I went to the hospital to get Grant Douglas, he refused to come with me. He said he didn't want me to treat him anymore.
Why? If he has amnesia, why should he turn you down?
He left with Olivia Corey.
Olivia Corey. I don't get it. Why is she so interested in him?
She must either know or suspect that he is really Quentin Collins. Let me see the x-ray. Now I know why she's so interested in that painting.
Why?
Because there's another painting under that. A portrait.
Yes, I can see the outline. Whose portrait do you suppose it is?
I don't know.
Quentin Collins, maybe.
No, the canvas that he was on was much larger.
A canvas can be cut down.
Yes, I suppose you're right. Olivia Corey went to a great deal of trouble to get to this underpainting. And now she wants my canvas back.
She's certainly interested in discovering whose portrait that is.
But she couldn't do that without damaging my painting.
Now, wait a minute. Mr. Nakamura took a color photograph of the painting. I'll just bet she had a duplicate made of this canvas.
And she's planning to switch her painting with mine.
Julia, you and I have to discover whose portrait is under that landscape.
I can think of only one man to ask.
Hello?
Hello, Professor Stokes. I'm sorry to disturb you, but this is really very urgent.
Yes, Julia, what is it?
Do you remember the Charles Delaware tape that I bought last week?
Yes, of course.
Well, I have discovered that there's another painting under it, a portrait.
How extraordinary.
Now, what I want to know is there any way of removing the top layer without damaging the second layer?
Yes, it's quite possible. I'm not competent to do it.
Or do you know anyone who is?
Henry Osmond at the university is an expert on that sort of restoration.
Could you possibly call him and ask him if he'd be willing to help?
This evening.
Yes, I'm sorry to say so, but it is terribly important.
Well, I can try, Julia. I can't promise anything.
Well, good. I'll have Chris bring the painting to you right away. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Good night. All right, now you take the painting to Professor Stokes, and you might as well take the X-ray as well. Now, if Professor Osmond is willing to do anything at all tonight, you stay there until he finishes.
You think all this detective work will do any good?
I think it already has. You better get started. Stokes is waiting for you.
As long as my life's a complete blank for a moment, why don't we discuss yours?
Well, my public life is a matter of the record. My private life,
Hmm?
I never discuss it.
Oh, I see. Well, what kind of an actress are you? I mean, what do you do?
Well, I began as a dancer and singer.
Singer. Strange.
What is it?
Oh, there for a moment, I suddenly thought I remembered a song.
Oh, try to bring it back.
I can't.
Oh, please keep trying.
It's a tune.
What tune? Can you hum it?
I don't know. It's like
Oh, please keep trying.
no, it's gone.
Well, Dr. Hoffman.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor.
I'm sorry, Miss Corey, but I must speak to you. Alone, if you don't mind.
Well, I don't mind, but perhaps Mr. Douglas does.
No, not at all.
Well, what can I do for you, Doctor?
I'd like to know why you brought that man here.
Well, I have a good reason, but I don't wish to reveal it at this time.
Is it because you know who he is?
As far as I'm concerned, he's Grant Douglas. But you don't believe that, do you? You think he's someone called Quentin Collins.
Perhaps.
Wasn't Quentin Collins born before the turn of the century?
1870.
man that we're talking about does not look 99 years old, does he?
All right, Miss Corey, let's stop fencing. Now, you want this man to regain his memory, don't you?
Yes.
You don't want to tell me why, do you?
No.
All right. Since we both have the same goal, I think it would be very advantageous if we cooperated with each other.
How?
I'm a doctor. I am more qualified to take care of him and treat him than you are.
Well, I can't very well disagree with you about that. Well, all right, Dr. Hoffman. We'll cooperate with each other. At least for now.
That must be Osmond now. Good evening, Henry. Come in. It's very good of you to come here at such short notice. Painting is over there.
You're the owner?
Now, it belongs to a friend of mine, someone who's very interested in Tate's work.
Tate's portraits are rare these days, still very valuable. But his landscapes are quite inferior. However, the old boy deserved credit. He kept turning them out right to the end.
The end.
Charles Tate died 10 years ago.
Have you two decided on my fate?
Dr. Hoffman and I have agreed to work together to help you regain your memory.
And just how are you going to go about this?
Well, she's the professional. She'll tell you. Good night, Mr. Douglas.
Good night, Miss Corey.
Remember, Doctor, bring him back.
Are we going somewhere?
Yes, to Collinwood.
Why?
We're going to try the association method. It's a way of inducing the sleeping memories.
Look, I'm really not someone who lived 100 years ago.
Well, I'll have to prove that to myself. Until then, it's a way of starting, isn't it?
All right. But I'm only doing this because I have no other choice.
Did you ever have a look at those handwriting samples I brought over?
Come over here, Chris. I was looking at them when Julia telephoned me.
What do you think?
Similarity is astounding. It's almost impossible to believe they weren't written by the same person.
Wow. That is news. Is that what you want me to tell Julia?
No, I want to be absolutely certain before I announce my decision. You might ask her if I can keep them a day or two longer.
I must say, I'm impressed. I really wouldn't mind being a Collins. But I'm afraid nothing rings a bell.
Come on, take you upstairs. Are you beginning to remember something?
That's the man who paid me a visit at the hospital. Why is he dressed like this in the portrait?
It's not the same man. It's one of his ancestors. Come, let's go upstairs.
Julia will never believe this.
Why shouldn't she? She knew there was a portrait underneath the landscape.
Yes, but seeing who the portrait is of is what's going to be the shock.
Who is it?
That is Olivia Corey herself.
Whose room was this?
Don't recognize anything about it?
If I did, I'd say so.
Well, keep looking around.
It's no use, Doctor. I don't remember anything about this room, and I don't remember anything about this house. You might as well go back to town and start from scratch.
No, not yet. There is one thing that we can do at first that may make your memory work.
And what's that?
Won't you sit down, please, and just listen? We will know whether or not you are Quentin Collins in a moment.